Fat over lean is a confusing concept at best. It has been explained in so many different ways. Artists use many different metaphors to explain it. Some even compare it to fat and lean ground beef. Yet few understand how to use it. In this course, we demystify the fat over lean rule by describing it in a novel way that simplifies understanding and applying it in your oil painting. Fat over lean refers to the principle in oil painting of applying paint with a higher oil to pigment ratio, which is fat paint, over paint with a lower oil to pigment ratio, referred to as lean paint. To help you understand the fat over lean rule, it is first essential to understand what paint is. One way to think about the matrix formed by pigment and binder is a brick wall. In this analogy for paint, bricks represent pigments and mortar the binder. Every mason knows there is an ideal ratio of mortar to brick. Too much mortar and the wall is weak. Not enough mortar and the bricks do not adhere to one another. A similar relationship exists between the pigments and binder in paint. Properties affected by the concentration of pigment in paint are hiding power, gloss, permeability, tensile strength, and abrasion resistance. The critical pigment volume concentration is the amount of binder to completely coat pigment particles, but not space particles apart. This is similar to the brick wall made with the prescribed amount of mortar between each brick. The dramatic and abrupt change in the behavior of paint that occurs when passing through the CPVC includes physical properties, durability, and appearance. To determine the oil absorption value of a pigment, linseed oil is added to dry powdered pigment until the powder becomes a coherent paste. This amount is the oil absorption value. Some pigments, such as lead white, are well known to absorb very little oil, while lamp black requires much more oil. This has led many to conclude that dense pigments like lead white and zinc white are lean, whereas lightweight pigments such as alizarin crimson and lamp black are fat. Pigments at critical pigment volume concentration also form pastes. Paint in collapsible tubes is paste paint, which usually means the pigment load is close to the critical pigment volume concentration of the single pigment or pigments in the tube. Paint at its critical pigment volume concentration is less susceptible to sinking in, remains flexible, is semi-gloss, and it's durable. So next time you plan your painting, think of a brick wall. Your paint from the tube is the brick wall. Adding medium increases the volume of mortar. Adding solvent effectively changes that volume. If paint is applied at its critical pigment volume concentration, which is paste or thick paint, at any point in the painting, the paint film maintains its properties like a brick wall. Paint with thick paint, but paint thinly. While this may not be possible in every painting technique, painting with paste in thin layers can make the difference in your painting.